Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 9 of the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 Series, coming to you tonight live from Laguna Seca in Monterey, California, United States. With me tonight, I'm John Van Ree. With me tonight, we have our driving commentator, the man again, the myth, the legend, back to do it one more time, Nathan Brown. How are you, Nato?
Hey, Johnny, how are we all tonight?
Good, mate. Good. You pumped up for this one?
It's going to be interesting. That's the word I'm going to lock in.
So,
because it's it's going to be very interesting.
So the story has it, you have had soccer training cancelled.
Yeah, so apparently in good old wonderful Melbourne, when it rains too much, they get a little bit worried about the fields being a little bit too damp.
I just thought that they might have just told you it was off and kept training.
Yeah, look, highly likely. It wouldn't be the first time.
Big shout out to Mary Partridge, who's already joined us in the chat. And we might just take the opportunity to have a quick look at this Laguna Seca circuit. Of course, we're in California, so out in the still arid desert environment where we are. This is a lovely little track. We have about 180-foot elevation change as we go through it, but we start on the main straight where we sort of sweep to the left through turn 1 into the Andretti hairpin, which is a double apex corner, which is quite tricky to get right. Then we come through into turn 3, which is a nice, fast right-hand turn, and then we go through the big turn 4 sweeper and make our way down the straight to turn 5, where we have a beautiful left-hand turn up the hill to turn 6 through the kink to go onto the Rahal straight. Kink's one of those spots where you've really got to get it right, otherwise you wind up in the kitty litter. We come up to the top of the Rahal straight where we crest the circuit at turn 7 and then enter what is known as the corkscrew. It's about as famous as the Dipper at Bathurst and as about as tricky to get through as well. And we'll see plenty of action in there tonight. And then as we sweep back our way down the hill, we go through the rainy curve into turn 10 and then under the hard braking turn 11 and back onto the main straight start-finish line. Length of the track is about 3.6 kilometres, 11 turns, or 12 if you count the 8A that we have on the circuit. It's also got some great elevation change like we talked about, and I think we'll see some fantastic racing. And we had vets here the other night, and yeah, it was pretty full on, Nath.
Yeah, it's always a very interesting track, and always a track that seems to bring out a lot of interesting and entertaining racing. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and of course, Josh Anderson holds the official iRacing record of a 1:21.378.
Wow, I'm very close to that tonight with a 1 minute 25.5.
Awesome, Nath. Good to see you're on pace. And we might just have a quick look at our championship before we go into qualifying. And we're going to jump on and have a look here. Adam Briggs from Synergy Sim Racing of 17:33, absolutely clearly ahead of James Chastney from the Banter Alliance. And then Damien Johnstone not far behind with a 15:27. And Cameron G. Jones from Century Motorsports, the big mover, up to 15:17. Blake Warboy's back on a 14:52. Craig Schultz from the 9.5ers in 6th on 14:19, just ahead of Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsports with 14:17. Jamie, the People's Champion McKnight in the top 10 still with a 13:70. Alan Dawson with a great effort to be sitting in 9th at 12:74. Harrison Dengate from WK&P sitting in 10th spot with 12:70. And behind him, we've got Chris Smart, Kenny Latta, Matty Stewart, James Scott, Brenton Hobson, Blake Delaney, Hayden Norris, Ben Morris, Matthew Scholes, Warren Davis, Michael Whiting, Dave Kirby, Ash Barello, Whittaker, Loveridge rounds out our top 25. I don't see you on this list at all anywhere, Nathan. Sorry.
No, I think I'm in the participation awards section of the list.
And we might just take the opportunity to quickly jump on and have a look at the qualifying times. And, of course, on pole, we've got James Scott with a cracking effort there with a 1:21.409, followed by teammate Brenton Hobson with a 1:21.7, Adam Briggs a 1:21.8, and a 1:22 to Damien Johnstone. So we have Synergy Sim Racing looking at the front 2 rows. Cameron G. Jones in 5th from Century Motorsports. Chris Smart sitting in 6th. That's a great effort. That's his highest qualifying position this series and one of his highest, I think, we've ever seen with him in the East Coast Series. In 7th, we've got Kenny Ladder. 8th, we've got Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsport. Paul Young from BAR brings out number 9, ahead of teammate James Chastaneef in 10th. Ben Morris from 9.5 Sim Sports in 11th with Simon Chadwick, his teammate, alongside him in 12th. Matty Scholes from Riot Sims Racing. His 13.14 is Vast's Matty Stewart. And Craig Schultz from 9.5 in 15. Michael Whiting in 16. Jamie, the People's Champion McKnight from Synergy Sim Racing in 17. Ahead of David Kirby from Fishy Motorsports. Stephen Varga, the driving coach extraordinaire, in 19th. In front of Harrison Dengate. That's a battle to always watch. And we'll talk about that one a bit later. A bit of action happened there on Saturday. And 21st, we've got David Nash. In 22nd, we've got Alan Dawson from Riot Sim Racing. In 23rd, we've got Brad Doble from Bogans Racing. Nicholas Loveridge from Backmarkers in 24th. 25th is Blake Delaney from Fishy. Andrew Ritchie from the Banter Alliance in 26th. 27th is Hayden Norris from Riot Sim Racing. And then we have Bruce Tenick from Mag and Turbo, Warren Davis, Ash Barella back in 30th from WK&P, ahead of Roy Clark from the Banter Alliance. Peter Pavlich from Century is in 32nd. 33rd is Matty Whitaker from Calamari Racing. Darren Shannon in 34th from Banter Alliance, ahead of Bogan Racing's Paul Burns in 35th. And in 36th, we've got Andrew Archer from Backmaker Racing. Craig Wasley in 37th, Jason Schollier in 38th from Century Motorsports. Dave Coleman from Fishy Motorsports sitting in 39th. Stephen Lawrence from Riot Sim Racing in 40th. And then we have a turn up for the books. We have Blake Warboys, P41, starting rear of grid, alongside teammate Josh Drage, who I'm not sure if he's in or not. Talk about that one a bit later. And at the very back, last man standing, the one and only Nathan Brown.
This is the space to watch. This is.
Long way back there, Nath.
Yeah, but, and possibly a good thing as I then try and take turn, whichever one this is, way too interestingly. Yeah, it's a very, very tricky track, to say the least, that's for sure.
It's a challenging track, and it's a track where you've got to be patient. And particularly if you get a few offs, or there's a few offs in the field, you get a bit of sand on the track, you'll find that she loses grip a little bit. And
yeah,
just
patience on the throttle as well is the other major one around here. As soon as you get a little bit too excited, or as soon as you jump on that throttle too soon or carry too much mid-corner speed, can turn very poorly very quickly.
Absolutely. It's a tough circuit in that sense. And it'll be very interesting to see how we go into turn 1 as well, with the kink, into turn 2, into the Andretti hairpin. So for the kink that we have coming down the straight, it's quite difficult to see what's going on. And a big shout out to Tracy Warboys as well. He's supporting Nathan, hoping that he's got his brakes sorted out, which we'll talk about a bit later. And of course, supporting Blake. And we have our number 1 ticket holder, Jordan Ross, in the house tonight, supporting the SSR boys. So great to have all of our fans along supporting us again as we're about to go to the grid. It's about to get real, Nath.
Yeah, it's getting very, very real indeed. We're making one very last quick setup change at the moment. And it's going to be very, very interesting.
It will be, as we have a quick
putting all the fuel into the thing as well. That's probably not a bad idea.
A little bit of fuel won't hurt. So, of course, we've got James Scott and Hobson on the front row, with Briggs and Johnson on the second row. Johnson, Smart, Ladder, Dyke, Young, Chastaneef, Ben Morris, Chadwick. So lining up in order of teams just about as we come down the back through the order there. You guys need to update their SDK. We've got Riot Sim, Matt Scholes, Matt Stewart, Craig Schultz, Matty Whiting, Kirby, Dengate, Varga. And we keep working our way through. 27th, we've got Hayden Norris from Riot Sim Racing. 28th, we've got Bruce Tenick, Ash Barella in 30th, Roy Clark 31st. It's going to be a fairly competitive field. And, of course, we've got Seb as our race director tonight again, and Richie Barella in the safety car.
Yeah, one of those jobs that we always sort of forget about a little bit, but always thank the boys for getting in there and doing it for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'd be lost without them. Do appreciate the effort that everyone goes to. Let's get ready. Start clicking.
So I'm so far back that when I hit the button to look out my left-hand window, I can't quite see the whole entire front straight.
Yep, you're looking a long way back there, Nath. It's good keeping on timing. So you are, Nath. You are actually around the corner, mate.
Yeah, this is I've been getting the hang of my starts, but man, this is going to be tricky.
So Hobbo is already half a track ahead of you.
Well, I'm sure he'll be right up my clacker before I know it.
James Scott hasn't taken the grid yet. We've still got another 45 seconds to go. And Will Wilson's jumped in as well. And we also have Pete Keller here in the house again too. So g'day, good evening, everybody. I think we're in for a cracker here. It's 83 laps, I believe, off the top of my head, or 84 laps, 300 Ks. There'll be 3 compulsory pit stops.
So I got Blake around the corner going, holy moly, I need to turn left. What he doesn't realise is if he looks over his shoulder right now, I'm looking directly at his passenger door. So there might be a racing incident just before the as the lights go green, ladies and gentlemen.
And
could be a bit of household banter here as we're about to go.
And of course, we are gridding at the moment. We have 1 red, 2, 3, 4, 5 reds. Lights out. We're racing. James Scott gets a jump off the line as we come up into turn 1 and heading down into heading ready hairpin. James Scott's nicely clearly. Hobson looks like he's going to slot into second. And Briggs sticking his nose up the inside a little bit there. Looks like he's going to get away with this one. The crash at the back. We'll come back to that later. We see 2 off. And it looks like Hobson's going to have the inside line and hold off as we come in through turn 4. Side by side back there. As we start to settle down in a single file, heading up into the kink to come up to the kink. Hobson goes a bit wide. This allows Briggs to come through. As we now go through the kink to go up the rail straight. We've got another accident down the back. Looks like Alan Dawson involved.
There's plenty of checking up, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. As we come to the corkscrew for the first time, and we've got James Scott already out to a 1.7 second lead from Adam Briggs, has worked his way up into second from third. Great little start for Adam, our championship leader. Brenton Hobson tucked in behind. Damien Johnston rounding out the quartet of Synergy Sim racing cars. Cameron Jones is sitting in 5th. This is an epic battle here. Cameron Jones from Century Motorsport stuck in the middle here with a very long train of Synergy Sim cars. As we complete lap 1 of 84. Still got a couple of slow cars out the back. Not sure what's going on. We'll try and pick up that. It's not you, is it, NATO?
No, we're on the track for now. This is very chaotic.
Ash Barella's entered the pits and Simon Chadwick's entered the pits. So we've already got 2 cars entered the pits. I think we may have a stopped car on track here. Might be Alan Dawson. Alan Dawson's... No, he's got it going again. Just. Not sure what was going on there, but he's rolling. As we jump back on the James Scott, our race leader. And James is well and truly away with a 1.2 lead over Adam Briggs. Adam Briggs now is cleared out to a second over Brenton Hobson. So Brenton Hobson's now the bottle in the cork. Cork in the bottle, sorry. Damien Johnstone lining up behind him as we come through the corkscrew. Pardon the pun of the cork in the bottle analogy. Someone else is off at the back there.
Yeah, that would be yours truly.
And we're continuing on here. This is a great little battle. Hobson holding up Jones, Johnston and Smart. Kenny Latta trying to latch onto the back of this pack. Followed by James Chastanove. But the big story after 3 laps is James Scott setting a 122.29. Absolutely clearing out on these boys. There's a few more guys roll out of the pits. There's Alan Dawson coming out now. Amberella not far behind. It would not be much fun coming out of pits into this train, as they all try and leave each other a bit of room. And we might just go back a little bit. Paul Young's in a bit of a battle here as well. He's done quite well. Hanging on, Matthew Scholes, Ben Morris in front, Craig Schultz behind, Michael Whiting, the other driver working his way up through here. How are you going, Nato? Did you get it going again?
Yeah, got it going. We gave the tyre barrier a little love tap, so the vinyl wrap guys mightn't like it too much. Whoop, as we go for a little excursion again. But it's a, yeah, practice would have gone well.
Of course, after your karting efforts on the weekend, mate, the brakes are still working.
Yeah, brakes are still working. We haven't had too many adventures off. Whoop, as I nearly do the same thing again, 2 laps in a row here. Yeah, brakes are still working, which is good. So certainly less consequences if they fail in the sim here, though. That's for sure.
Absolutely, a lot less consequences. Of course, Nathan coming off on the fastest part of the track on the weekend with no brakes into a tyre barrier.
Yeah, that was
entertaining.
I had the I had the Cairo today, and he's like, "How you been, mate?" I was like, "Oh, interesting. We've you know, had a little bit of an incident on the weekend. Showed him a few pictures, and he went to touch my back, and he's like, "Yep, I can understand why your ribs are a bit sore." That's I was cracking more than a bag of popcorn. I was.
There you go. Some big movers happening here. Craig Schultz is now up 2 spots into 13th. The 9.5 driver. The other big mover at the moment, Harrison Dengate. He's up 4 spots into 16th. Tucked in nicely behind Dave Kirby. And Jamie McKnight tucked in behind him, having a bit of a look here. The old People's Champion. The old Master and Apprentice again. If it's not Stephen Varga hassling Dengate, it's going to be McKnight. Seems to be the story of this season. Hates showing plenty of pace. Someone's off in the corkscrew. Not sure who that is. Might be Warren Davis, I think. Or Ash. Might just have a quick look. No, we'll come back to that. Got it rolling.
I think it is Warren Davis. Yeah, car is rolling.
Damien Johnstone under a fair bit of pressure here now from Cameron Jones. This, of course, is allowing Damien Johnstone here, allowing some of the other boys to get away. And we have a drive-through penalty for 62, failing to hold brakes during an incident on lap 1.
Oh dear.
So car 62, of course, is Alan Dawson. So not sure about that one. We might take the opportunity of the race settling down to go back and have a look. See if I can find what happened. And we'll go to the Supercheap Auto replay. Coming down into turn 5, a little bit of a tap. Dawson's been spun around and he's just rolled back in. And of course, Ash Barella's the man who's met him. So yeah, it's a interesting one. Always a good thing to remember. Jump on the brakes when you have a spin. As we go back to live pictures, and the screen's not working, which is not good. And might go look for another battle on track. Jamie McKnight now is putting all sorts of pressure from David Kirby. And Nicholas Loveridge, one of the big improvers of the series, coming up in behind there. It's great to see Nicholas running around up in the top 20. Race control still on the comms, so Seb already having a busy night by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think it was one of the Bogan Racing boys, Paul Brens, may have been caught up in something, I think.
Well, we might go have a quick look at the replay, see what happened. Looks like a little bit of a lunge going into the corkscrew. And Paul's come off second best there, rolling down the hill. Not a good spot to be parked. Sorry, that was into the last turn. Sorry, not the corkscrew. But he's got himself going again. Good to see. As we go out of the replay, back to live pitches. Nathan Brown's had another off track too, by the way, in the meantime.
Yeah, look, our instant account isn't looking good here. Might need to ask a favour from race control at some point throughout this evening.
Of course, Laguna Seca, the first stop of our Central Cali tour that we're doing as part of the East Coast Series this season. There's another race coming up in a couple of weeks' time at Sonoma, so which we're about 3 hours south of. Oh, a little bit wide there from Damien Johnstone's opened the door up for Cameron Jones. Cameron Jones gets the job done, heading up into the kink. Sorry, not in the kink, coming down into the corkscrew. Struggling to get it all right tonight. And we might look for another battle on track. Ben Morris, 9.5. He's up the back of Mark Scholes from Riot. There's a little bit of battle pack here with Paul Young, Whiting, Schultz and Dengate and Kirby. And we've got another car off. Not sure who that is. Kenny Ladder's been involved in an incident. Not sure why Kenny's been dropping back. Ooh, only nicely just gets back on. You might just quickly go to the replay and have a look what happened to Ken. I think he's got a little bit wide. Oh, he's got a bit of a tap there. It was a bit slow going out of the second last corner, and one of the Banter Alliance boys has found the back of his car, so not sure who's at fault. We'll leave that one up to the stewards, and we'll continue on back to live pitches. 8 of 84 laps completed now in the books. It's still a fair good battle going on in this mid-pack that we're talking about before. So Paul Young here under all sorts of pressure from Michael Whiting. Of course, Michael Whiting having a good look. Bruce Tannick with a drive-through with an incident with 110, sorry. So that's with Paul Bryn. So that was the incident we saw earlier. And the Banter Alliance boys here, Paul Young having an absolute cracker, and nicely handling the pressure being applied. And the real story of the race is our race leader, James Scott's already out to a 4-second lead from Adam Briggs, who's 2.5 seconds out from Brenton Hobson. He's 1.5 seconds down the road from Cameron Jones. And then we have Johnston Smart, and then a gap back to Chastity. So James Scott continuing the form that we've seen the last couple of weeks, starting to hunt down Adam Briggs for the championship, I think. So it's going to get very interesting as we get into the closing stages of this series.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be interesting to see how those boys play it as it goes on, and as the championship battles get closer and closer, how the team side of things are going to go.
Being assured that there's no team orders, they're free to play.
That's the answer we like to hear, that is.
That's what I'd expect. Nothing else from team boss Jordan Ross. We're letting the boys do that, which is good. And creates good viewing for us. As Craig Schultz in 12th here, still under a fair bit of pressure from Dengate behind. Might just jump back up. Cameron Jones, Johnston, this battle still raging on. As we come down into the Andretti hairpin. Can use a bit of this concrete out on your right side there. This double apex, very difficult to get 100% right every time. It's about 3 or 4 different lines through that corner. Like the nice sweeping right-hander. Then we've got the faster sweeping right-hander through turn 4. You want to stay off the red curb, you want to keep the car settled. Damien doing a fantastic job here. Through the king. Very difficult to get that maximum 100% right. Up the hill here. Rahal straight. Now we get into the corkscrew. Big elevation drop. Look for the V in the tree. Drop it down. Feather the throttle. On the gas. Huge camber to this corner. You can really push the car through it. Out wide, use all the curb as we're seeing. On the brakes for the last one. Got to get the apex right. Get on the gas as soon as you can because you got the long straightaway on the main. Start, finish straight. Great to see. Matthew Scholes is into the pits. Not sure whether they would be scheduled. A little bit too early for my liking. And we might jump back, have a look at a few of the other battles going on. Dengate still keeping the pressure on Craig Scholes in front, up 7 spots, of course. The man I haven't talked about yet, one of the men in the top half of the championship, in the top 10, Blake Warboys, having an absolute blinder with a rear grid start. He's worked himself up 20 spots to be in 20th already.
Wowza.
So based on that theory, he started 2 spots in front of you, Nath. I should be seeing you in 22nd.
Very close. I'll give you a hint. Warmer.
Well, still circulating in 37th. You're not last, mate. That's all you got to work on. You're doing well.
Well, the way I look at it is I can't really go back much further tonight. And if I am, I'm doing something very impressively wrong.
And, of course, Blake is 2 spots behind Stephen Varga. And, of course, after a couple of on-track incidents between Stephen Varga and Harrison Dengate over the last couple of weeks on the East Coast, we were fortunate enough to organise an introduction between Stephen and Harrison on the weekend at the Pucker Punt at the Eastern Lions go-karting track. So plenty of laughs had.
It was good to put another face to the name that we see in all these iRacing races that we do in all the virtual world. So it was great for him to pop on out.
And Blake picks off another one now and tucks up behind Stephen Varga. Yeah, no, it's always good to catch up with people from behind the screen. It's one thing that we all have in common. We're all motorsport nuts. I don't think there's too many of us that do this because we love the computer. And we might just jump back up again. James Chastaneuf now under all sorts of pressure from Jamie Dyke. Of course, Jamie, one of our drivers in this series, will be representing the series in the Logitech G Pro series tomorrow night, where they are going to have a race in... Hobson and Johnson are in the pits. Of course, the Logitech Pro Series having a race that will be on the hottest iRacing track I've ever seen at Monza. Apparently, because the series works on real weather, and basically I've been told that they can't crank the track up hot enough to meet the real weather.
Wow. That'll be very interesting for the boys, it will.
Oh, it will be. It will be very interesting. Particularly a place like Monza where you're going to need tyres to brake and get around corners like the Parabolica. So it'll be very interesting. As we have a bit of a jump up the field, of course, as I said, we just had the 2 boys duck into the pits. With Hobson, who's come back out in 24th. And John Stone's come back out in 30th. So 13 laps in, that's an interesting call. It's a little bit early that I would have thought. I would have been thinking Stoppers would have been 15, 16. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nath, because you've got the fuel computer probably in front of you.
Well, I broke it out about all of 2 seconds before we went live, so I'm kind of winging it at the moment, to be honest. But according to the settings that we got tonight from Mr. Barella and our pit stops, 3 compulsory pit stops throughout the night, and according to a full tank of juice around here, because we're going through at about 2.9 litres per lap, plus or minus a wheel spin whoopsie. So roughly, you could get, if you really wanted to stretch a tank, you could get 30 laps out of 1 tank of fuel.
That's a big stretch.
Yeah, so based off how we're going, and again, 0 practice, I don't think the tyres are going to last 30 laps around here.
No, I'd
If
probably
they
say you'll
did,
struggle.
Yeah, it's surely going to be a little bit of canvas showing at some point.
Of course, Harrison Dangate here having a cracking battle with Craig Schultz from 9.5 Sim Sports. And Kenny Ladders is rolling into the pits again, and Hayden Norris with him. These boys head up to the corkscrew. James Scott hasn't pitted yet, nor has Briggs, Johns, Smart and Chastaneuf. What's going on back here? It's getting past there, Nath.
Yeah, we may have had a bit of a loopsy, a loopsy, which is a close bonding of words between whoopsie and lose. But we didn't lose it. I was trying to have a look-see at my fuel calculations at the same time, because I've got a little bit of a different setup going on here. I've gone back to a single monitor. So the other monitors that I used to use for the fuel calculations and stuff, I haven't made any bracketry for any of them yet, and I haven't gone as flashy dashy as Blake or any of the other boys with triples or quad setups yet. So currently I need to look basically down at the floor where my elbow is to look at the spare screen. And given this track's not got a lot of room around here, not a lot of time to even catch your breath really, it's made it a little bit tricky for a second there.
Multitasking like usual. So Wallboys has worked his way past Varga now, and now he's onto the back of Nicholas Loveridge, up 25 spots. As he makes his way past Loveridge here. Side by side. That gets the job done. As we have a good look at the corkscrew. Nose cam again.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We won't argue.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Absolutely, Nath. We're back on this one here. And a big thank you, of course, to Supercheap Auto for sponsoring the series. Darren Shannon from the Banter Alliance has had an incident. And so we might have a quick look at what's happened to Darren. And coming down into turn 1, into the Andretti hairpin. Probably gets a little bit loose here, I'd say. There he goes. Jump back to live pictures because we've just had another incident happen very quickly then. I think we've had a fairly significant incident involving Stephen Varga, Andrew Ritchie and David Nash. This is coming up the hill into the corkscrew, I believe. Varga's got a bit loose. He's lost control. He's come back across. Oh, no, he gets clipped in the rear. And clipped in the back, spins another one. Oh, Will Vargas get that going is the question. Looks like he has. Oh, that was close. I did get stuck down in there on Thursday night myself on the last lap. Not an easy one to do. As we quickly jump back up the front, James Scott, of course, our race leader.
I did hear a little bit of banter just then over my shoulder of Blake and Harrison talking to one another, so those two must be getting pretty close to one another on the track.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Vargas makes his way back to the pits, and let's just have a look. Where is Dengate? Of course, here we go. We've got a McKnight sandwich. So War Boys is 3.7 seconds behind Jamie McKnight. So the People's Champion, of course, up the road. He's looking at the back of Harrison Dengate. Of course, the fuel-saving master that McKnight is will be absolutely pushing the limits of what he's doing here. So rather interesting that's going on. And of course, 18 laps down now, so you should start seeing everyone peeling off. Jamie Dyke putting a move on Chastanove. Sorry, Jamie Dyke under pressure, sorry, from Morris now. And Sean McNamara jumping in the chat to say g'day.
What's going on, Macca?
Of course, great little battles. Briggs is the first one to blink up the front. Adam Briggs heads into the pit lane. James Scott still going around. He's going to get an extra lap of fuel. Extra lap under his belt. An extra lap less of fuel he's got to put in. Still got some good battles. Andrew Ritchie's under pressure from putting the pressure on Matt Stewart. And another little battle pack we've got going is Craig Wisley, one of our new guys in the league, doing quite well. And he's in a good little battle here. He's up 10 spots, chasing down Scholes and Pavlich. And Briggs is still falling down the order here. We'll jump on with Hobson because this is where the battle was. Is Hobson going to get past him? Adam Briggs is on his out lap. Oh, I think Hobson's got him. So the earlier stop has paid off for Hobson. See how that pans out. We'll see how that pans out in the next two. Dave Kirby leading the boss in Michael Whiting. So this is the battle here for 12th and 13th. And War Boys just in front of these guys. And he's hunting down a Jamie McKnight in front of him. Dengate's gained a spot. He's now moved up 12 spots to 8th. That's a great drive from H at the moment.
I think Mr. Scott's just come into the pits, he has.
Yep, he has. With Cameron Jones as well and Christian Smart. So all the front boys are rolling in. Of course, don't underestimate Christian as well. He had a very good drive on Thursday night in Vets. And we had a 300k race here as well. As James Chastanove goes an extra lap along with Jamie Dyke and Ben Morris. So a few of these boys doing quite well with their fuel strategy. Dengate's going again. So's Schultz, so's McKnight, so's War Boys, Kirby, Whiting and Loveridge. These boys getting 20 litres out of the tank. Rather interesting. And we continue on with a great little battle here. Ben Morris is all over the back of the fishy car in front of him. Definitely making Jamie Dyke earn his spot here. And we might just have a look where James Scott's rolled out. Let's try and find him on the list. He's rolled back out in P13, so James Scott's come out behind Hobson as well.
Wow, that's a huge difference that undercut's made.
Absolutely huge. Just a little bit of housekeeping here. James Scott's worked his way past Hobson. Lining up Loveridge now. And we continue on with what we're doing. How you going, Nato? You must be due for fuel soon.
Yeah, well, we're getting a bit close, trying a little bit of a... knowing how far back we are, knowing how short the track is. Trying to go a little bit longer from the aspect of trying to minimise how much I have to worry about being lapped and sort of letting cars pass and that sort of stuff. So if I can go as long as possible, dare I say it, hope for a safety car, might make life a little bit easier in the longer run, or it could come back and bite a lot.
Of course, on board with you at the moment, close. Nato, so you can talk us a lap, mate.
Here we go. Okay, we're going under the Mother's Bridge here. Drop it down into third, turn in, try to get it to go. A little bit of camber as it comes in, helps feeding the power on. Now the trickiest part of the track I find, come up fifth gear, fourth, drop it down, turn in, hope for the best, just gets there all the way out wide for the big run up the hill. Get a little bit of a breath, wait till we just go past the ripple strip, hit the brakes again, down through the gears, modulating a lot as it's very bumpy, slowly feeding the throttle on, back down the hill we go. Gaining a lot of speed, but you don't want to gain too much because it can very easily understeer on you through here. Holding fourth the whole way through. Quick short shift down to third, short shift back up to fourth after we get it pointed. Use all the tracking a little bit more to keep that grass not there. And then we pull it down to first gear. Get it pointed, slowly feed on that throttle, and off we go. A little bit of wheel spin because we're a bit too excited on that one. And now we get a little break going across the main straight, start finish line just there. Up over the crest, get around the kink, hit the brakes again. Big temperatures hit here. Double apexer, in first apex, out second apex, slowly feed on that throttle, and now we're back to full throttle again. Third gear, fourth gear, on the brakes, third gear again. Be patient, wait, then we feed the throttle. Pluck fourth, hold fourth through here, brakes again, wait, feed on the throttle, and out we go. And holy mothers, that was a very interesting lap.
And you did really well. You managed to keep Alan Dawson behind you.
Yeah, well, it's he's all over the mirrors there. I reckon he'll. I'm surprised he hasn't had a go yet, to be honest.
We might just quickly jump back up the front. This is a lead situation. You've got James Chaston out in front as our race leader. Still ahead of Jamie Dyke, who hasn't pitted. Harrison Dengate in third, who hasn't pitted either. And then we've got Schultz Warboys in fifth, who hasn't pitted. So this lead group here, doing reasonably well. Still only 6 seconds to Warboys to Scott. So there's still going to be some time lost there from our previous race leader. But these guys having a cracking job through here. As James Scott absolutely flying. Last lap he did was a 122.4 compared to the 122.9 and the 123.1 and the 123 high 9 of Schultz. So the new tyres absolutely working a treat for James Scott at the moment.
I wish I could go that quick. My last lap was a 25.2.
Nath, what are we going to do with you?
That was also a PB as well, so that's not saying a lot for the start of my stint.
And of course, mate, any truth to the rumours that you were commentating in the helmet on Saturday while you were driving?
Well, I tried it, but there weren't many people I could talk to out there. I was always talking to myself. There was a bit of commentating when I hit the left foot on that brake pedal and it didn't stop. There was it was a bit going on there, but.
And just to butt in, mate, Chastity, Dyke, Doble, and Loveridge have all now just pitted.
Wow! Just for that, I'm going to go one more lap, I reckon.
And so Warboys, Harrison Dengate is our race leader at the moment. is on lap 23, with Schultz and Warboys behind. Of course, got to remember it's 3 compulsory stops for the race tonight. So an absolute challenge, this one. So far, so good. The boys are doing really well.
Brings in a lot of strategy having to make an extra stop compared to what you normally do.
Absolutely. It makes it rather difficult, and you've got to be well and truly ahead of your game. And particularly when you start dealing with traffic as well, which we're starting to see. We've got 22. Who's that? We've got a car stopped on the Andretti straight. They're waiting to see if he can get it going. Could be about... Oh, he's rolling. No, he stopped again.
Well, this could be perfect timing for a safety car for me.
No, he's going. He's rolling. He's away.
He's going. Oh, that's good.
And Cameron G. Jones here. He's under all sorts of pressure from Damien Johnstone again. So now that the dust has settled, we are looking at where we're going to be rolling here, the battle that we had before. Great to see. And I'd probably say Dengate, our race leader, would be due to come in this time by. And that car has stopped again. I'm not sure what's going on with Worsley. He is still rolling. And we've got another one. You've pitted, Nath?
Yep. Paul
Brins has got himself going in. So is Dengate. Dengate's come in as well. Schultz is in. The 9-5 boys. And then the other one coming in. That was a bit loose.
Was a bit of style points for Blake there.
Yep.
I got to see it on both screens.
Right when I put it on to look at. Watch Blake come into the pits to do that. And James Scott continues back on in situation normal. Back in P1. He's leading by 6 seconds from Brenton Hobson, who is under quite a tight little battle with his teammate and championship leader Adam Briggs in 3rd place. These boys are about 9 seconds up the road from Cameron Jones, who's having a great little battle with Damien Johnstone. And we'll keep this 2x2 going. These boys are about 6 seconds up or 7 seconds up the road from Christian Smart. Christian by himself at the moment. Craig Schultz coming out behind. Paul Young is up 1 spot in 8th. And he's got a fairly clear gap behind him with David Coleman chasing. And a bit of a pack. Nathan Brown trying to poke his nose in somewhere.
Yeah, it was a very interesting rejoin there. Oh, new tyres are great, they are.
Dengate comes back out behind Whiting. Dave Coleman, the only man who hasn't stopped as well, by the way.
Wow, that's a very good effort, that is.
Very good effort. As he continues for a round again. Up 30 spots at the moment. So this is our last man on track to stop. 27 laps for his first stop. So bearing in mind that the guys have got to have 3 compulsory pit stops. Well, stay on the black stuff, Nath.
A very awkward time for a little bit of a glitch there.
And we can see you in the background. So Chastity in P12. He's in a great little battle here as well.
Oh, this is very interesting. There's a lot of WK&P cars together right about now, and I don't know which one's the right one I should be letting through.
Let's just say both of them, if they're near you. So Wall Boys up 20 spots in 20th still. Dengate's up 4 spots in 16th. And the other one, WK&P car, while we're checking him all out, is Ash Barella down 6 spots. And he's just going past you now.
That is very cheeky, Ash. I wasn't letting you through.
And that was 4th position.
Yeah, I know.
And
this is very, very busy. This is
Blake.
Okay, yeah.
Blake's next, yeah. Blake's next. And that should be the last of those.
Oh, that's an awkward time for a lockup. Yes, nice
Yeah,
and close.
commentators curse, you'll take Blake out.
It's he was flashing the lights at me. I might have to flash something else at him to distract him back.
Just get out of the sim, pull the power plug.
So, as I nearly unintentionally did take him out.
And Matty Scholl's doing really well here. This is a great little battle he's got with Ben Morris from 9.5 Sim Sports.
Oh, yes, Ash is out of the way of the others. I could get him back here. This is a great entertaining game of chess. Trying to race someone whilst there's cars lapping you.
It does make it very interesting. Yeah, boys working very hard. And
Yes.
take the opportunity to have a bit of a chat. Of course, this is round 9 of the current season, but entries opened this week for... Oh, Chasty, where you going? Oh, don't ask me how Chasty just pulled that up. That was miraculous. Going into the corkscrew. It was more smoke than mirrors, I think, but he's got the job done. So Chasty just gets past Dyke. And Scholes. We might jump back up. Cameron Jones still under pressure from Damien Johnstone. These boys are having a ding-dong battle. Hobson's closed the gap a little bit here. He's got Adam Briggs only a second behind him. Sorry, Briggs has closed the gap. And back to what I was talking about, I've just put a link up on the YouTube chat, of course, for season 4. As you said, season 4 calendar was released this week. And starting on the 12th of September, we've got Donington, Watkin Glen, and then the first ever for the East Coast Series, we're going to be doing a Bathurst. So 2 drivers, a Bathurst 1000. So that includes practice session, a 2-hour quali session, a top 10 shootout, and then 6 hours of Bathurst on the 2nd to the 10th.
Whoa.
Then we go to Long Beach, VIR, Road Atlanta, Spa, Red Bull Ring, Silverstone. Then we hit up Winton, Road America, Brands Hatch, and then we finish the season off in round 13 with another teams race with the Sandown 500. So it already looks like a cracking season, and with the graphic up, we'll take the opportunity to welcome on board some new sponsors as well, with the West End Motor Group coming on board as a sponsor for the next season, which is fantastic, joining Supercheap, Pool Guys, Umbrella Cabinets and WK&P. And we also have DC Shades joining the series as well. So welcome aboard to the new sponsors, and thank you to everyone else for getting involved. So, of course, in the chat, if you were interested in signing up for the season series, feel free to click the Google form and enter. And we might just go
Certainly
back.
a very entertaining series to be a part of, and thank you to everyone that's jumped on board to sponsor and help keep it going for us.
And we're continuing on here as we've got... Oh, Ben Morris gets a little bit loose, but manages... Sorry, not Ben. Dave Coleman gets a little bit loose, but manages to hang on. So Dave Coleman's done reasonably well after those pit stops. He's up 30 spots in 9th, which is great to see. Wallboys has made up another 2 spots. He's in the 18th now. Dan Gates in 16th. Dave Coleman's pitting now, so Coleman hadn't pitted yet. So he's done well to get this far. I thought he'd pitted, so he must have got another pit.
Might have been one of the early ones, wasn't he?
This is his second stop, so I'm not sure what the go is there. This could be his strategy. He did go long the first time, do a very short stint, and then go long again. I don't think he can go that long, no.
It's very, very interesting.
I suppose he got to do one more stop. It's only his second. James Scott now out to a 9.1 second gap from Hobson, who's under pressure still from Briggs, who's 9 seconds out from Jones. So this is where the real battle on track is at the moment. This is Jamie Dyke, James Chastanet, Ben Morris. Kenny Ladder in the midst of all this. Absolute cracking drive here from Jamie Dyke. We might just quickly jump back on. Another little battle forming here. Of course, one we always like to keep an eye on is the old Dengate People's Champion McKnight. So Jamie just got passed by Matty Scholes here. Sorry, Jamie just passed Matty Scholes, and Harrison lining up to get a piece of the action as well. Some very tight, close side-by-side racing. Michael Whiting getting up the inside here. Dengate losing another spot. This is the problem with this track. You can't afford to get caught out too wide in too many corners.
Oh, I was going for it. I made this awkward.
Dengate concedes. Warboy's now tucked up behind. Dengate will be looking to find his groove again. Of course, if you are watching on the YouTube, don't be scared to jump in the chat. Tell us who you're following. We'll try and have a shout out to them and see how they're getting on for you.
And the real question of the night, how many laps down do you reckon I'm going to go? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4?
Did we get the option of DNF?
Sure, we can even throw that in there. We've had a few near misses, so anything's possible.
And of course, Blake Delaney now coming into the back of this pack as well. And Christian Smart now is under a bit of pressure from Craig Schultz. And Hobson's gone in for his second pit stop. Oh, Smarty, no! And in the wall. He just spun on the corkscrew.
Oh, no.
Put the cork in the bottle, didn't take it out.
That's not one way to make the champagne go pop.
Oh, it's a bummer. He was doing really well. Doing really well. And of course, Kenny Ladder's now latched onto the back of Jamie Dyke as well. Ladder looking very racy here. Hobbo still sitting in pit lane for his second stop. Will Wilson cheering on Dave Baldock.
Mr. Baldock Racing, is he?
Come on, play nice.
Oh no, I haven't. I've been too busy trying to keep it on the track myself.
No,
Dave's come across middle.
Dave's retired from East Coast. Apparently you blokes were too young for him. As Briggsy heads into the pits.
I work on that every day for him.
Of course, I think last time we had Dave on, you were his #1 WK&P car.
Yeah, that is very, very true. I do remember that.
There we go, Michael Whiting now having a look on War Boys. And a little bit of a side-by-side. I don't think they touched, not 100% certain. Dengate under pressure again, too wide into the final corner. Some great driving there, both guys giving themselves plenty of respect. Blake Delaney watching the back of this unfold in front of him. Of course, Dave Baldock is welcome back. More than happy to have him sign up and join for season 4.
Yeah, I heard he was talking about doing it. he and Ben were going to do it, weren't they?
We might jump back up again, back to the Dyke. Jamie Dyke. Of course, he's under all sorts of pressure here from Kenneth Ladder. Adam Briggs after his second pit stop, tucked in behind these boys. Of course, as we said, traffic and slower cars, you don't really want to have issues with.
Well, being the slowest car on the track, it's not really something I worry about. But Ash is just in front of me here, so I think I've got a pretty good carrot of trying to keep up with him here.
Where are we? This is all the way back in P35. Up 6 spots, Nathan Brown.
You can give Ash a little bit of a hello. Give him a good flashy flash.
Of course, Ash is probably sleep deprived. New father.
Yeah, taking care of his little mini-me.
Little Hunter.
Well, communications through the room here. After that little flash of the lights at Ash, Blake says that Ash says hello. So, hi Ash, when you watch this again later.
If you feel safe, Ash, flash your lights once. Oh, dearie me. Let's go back into the action. Damien Johnstone's gone into the pits. James Chastaneef now being passed by Adam Briggs, our championship leader. Having a great drive at the moment with a different strategy to James Scott. So let me see how these strategies play out. Of course, we might go to the quick pit strategy screen. Have a quick look. So James Scott and Jones both pitted on lap 19. Chalked out about 17 laps this time by. And we can see the Smart's gone along as well in 4th. It's still doing reasonably well even after that spin. And then we've got Morris Briggs, our championship leader. He's done his second stop, which is an interesting strategy, going a little bit earlier. Chastity went long in the first one, did 23. Same thing with Jamie Dyke. Warboys and Dengate going 25 in their first stop. And then, of course, Ladder went 13. So some interesting strategies starting to play out here. We're starting to see some differences. And it'll be very interesting to see how this all unravels as we're only on lap 38 of 84. The joys of a 300k race. It's not just about how fast you can go. It's about how you can save fuel, look after tyres, and manage the car and not say whoops.
Yep, that's a very interesting spot to... and we'll just slowly take away here, and hopefully he sees me there.
And Hayden Norris
There we go.
going up the Rahal Straight, doing a bit of rallycross. Kicking up a
Not
bit.
gonna lie, it wasn't one of my prettiest moments, but that flick spin wasn't too bad. Rate that out of 10.
Oh, dearie me. And let's quickly go to the Supercheap Auto replay. Yes, yeah, that was a nice flick spin. That's into the tyre wall. You didn't go through the tyre wall like you did on Saturday. That's good.
Yeah, baby steps.
Flick spin, yeah, kind of stayed out everyone's way. Yeah, that's all right. I'll probably give you a 6.5 for that.
Oh, I thought that was getting closer to an 8 at least. There you go, viewers. Comment, what do you reckon that flick spin's worth?
Well, I reckon he could have kept the tyre smoke going a bit longer.
I thought about that, but then I thought about how many more laps I want to drive for, so...
And James Scott, our race leader, has now decided to participate down pit row, which we should see Craig Schultz now. Cameron Jones has come in as well, so running the same strategy. And now we're going to have Craig Schultz on circuit here, the 9.5er. Is he going to go around and take our race lead? As he has Darren Shannon from Banter Alliance in front of him.
Yeah, how many race leaders have we had tonight, Johnny?
Not enough.
Can you SDK?
Could, but not an easy one to sort out. And Will Wilson just rated your flick spin at 1, by the way.
Oh, that's stiff, that is.
Here we go. Briggsy's putting the moves on Paul Young coming down into the Andretti hairpin. Nice little move. Paul wise enough to let him go through to play another day. Paul in a great battle, of course, with Ben Morris. Jamie Dyke and Chastity still going nose to tail. These boys having a good battle. Kenny Ladder getting a bit loose out of shape at the back of this battle. They jump on with Kenny Ladder there. And then move our way a bit further back. We've got the People's Champion, Jamie McKnight, having another great drive. Great to see Jamie doing really well. And Warboys is up 29 spots in P11 at the moment. Being chased down by Brenton Hobson, who's already done his second stop.
Very solid effort from Blake, that is. I won't say that too loud. I don't want to boost his ego whilst he's driving. But it's a very good effort, that is.
Of course, both these boys will be racing tomorrow night in the Logitech G Pro Series at Monza. Well worth a look. Of course, James Young Blackall and Stephen Sandman Clark doing the commentary for that race. Always very entertaining.
It's a very good series, that one is. Very well done. Say the least.
Well, Sandman puts me to shame as a commentator, I'll admit that much. What did I get called by Dave Galley last week? On Saturday, sorry. I got called monotone.
That sounds like a very Dave thing to say.
Well, the only person I know with mono is Dave, so... And Hobbo now lining up Blake here. Of course, Hobbo will be on fresh tyres. As we head up into the corkscrew, this might get interesting. As we're coming up on lap traffic with Ash Barella.
Yes, he's my real competitor when I make my next stop.
Well, Ash has already done 2 tours down pit row. As he nicely pulls out of the way. And Cameron Jones, of course, is coming through this battle as well. He's got himself past Dengate. So we've kind of got 2 or 3 different strategies playing out here. So we've got the guys that have stopped twice coming through some of the one-stoppers. But it'll be interesting to see how these strategies all end up panning out. But at the moment, Craig Schultz is our race leader. His 2-second gap up the road from James Scott. Of course, James has made his second stop. So it just shows the calibre and skill of the Synergy Sim Racing driver. Absolutely having a cracker here. Definitely the 4-man of the series.
It's also very impressive that everyone here has managed to race well enough that we haven't had a safety car yet. Normally it's a track that definitely brings out safety cars around here, but everyone's been doing a fantastic job so far.
Shows the standard of driving that we're dealing with in the series, which is always great to see. I think most people enjoy watching it run with that. And you just got to make the most of it when they do come. Or don't be the cause of one. So we might just have a look for some on-track battles as Christian Smart and Andrew Ritchie dive into the pits. We might jump on with Dave Kirby, our Fishy Motorsport driver, lining up Andrew Archer here, having a great little battle. Will Wilson. Oh, and I'll get back to that. Dave Kirby still having an epic battle here. And I'm just going to do a quick favour. Bear with me for 1 minute. We might just quickly go to an advert.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We won't argue.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
And we jump back into the live action again. And Dengate and Warboys are in the pits. Paul Young's still doing quite well. He's up 5 spots in 4th, but he's under all sorts of pressure still from Ben Morris. These two guys have been nose to tail for most of the night. Which has been awesome to see. And we're just carrying on here. Brad Doble's had a spin. We might have a quick look what happened to Brad Doble, which I think he's still off the track. So go Supercheap Auto replay. Looks like he's caught a little bit of the dirt, I think. A little bit wide. Found the dirt. Found the same tyre as Nathan did. It's hit him a little bit harder. Thrown a bit more dirt up on the track. And that is that. He's parked it up against the wall, waiting for a bit of traffic here. I think he's rolling again, so we'll go back to live pictures. And answer Will Wilson's question in the chat, which is why I've been a little distracted, so I apologise. I've just put up the website for the Pro Series, so you can check out the website. That'll have a link to the broadcast, and that'll also have everything you need to know about the teams, the drivers. If you haven't checked out that website, have a look. It's absolutely cracking. As James Chastity, of course, still under pressure from Jamie Dyke. Now Kenneth Latta, Paul Young, Ben Morris have gone into the pits. Might just jump down. Matt Scholes has just been passed by Dave Coleman. But Dave Coleman's still circulating quite well. And stress budget racing. Yeah, apologies, mate. I'll fix it up next time I go to an ad. The sound levels. I get in trouble for having too loud sound levels for other things, and yeah, it's a bit hard at times driving everything.
It's certainly very interesting, isn't it? Very tricky trying to be able to multitask and do all this. There's a fair bit that you do for it, though.
Oh yeah, it's never easy. And then, of course, you're sort of dealing with software you don't use every day, like OBS and SDK, and yeah. So when you watch some of the work that the likes of Luke from Race Stars TV does, and yeah, you just, or SimSpeed, you lean back in the chair and watch those guys and just go, wow. I guess it's a lot easier when you got a director that's just doing the direction and the commentators just get the opportunity to talk. Just like our commentators are doing both, and my co-commentator's driving.
Yeah, just because multitasking isn't hard enough.
Yeah. I'm still circulating, Nate, so still impressed. We're on lap 45 of 84.
Yeah, we're going in, and we're coming in for our next pit stop. We are, because I have a
Yep.
feeling the lap number that I was going off versus the lap number what I'm actually on are probably two different things.
And might just quick jump back on to Paul Young. Paul Young, of course, has made his second stop. Still in this ding-dong battle with Michael Whiting. I think the BAR and Fishy boys have all been pretty close to each other all night here. As Kenny Ladder gets past Dave Kirby, Schultz and Dyke have headed into the pits. So Craig Schultz, Jamie Dyke, Mick Knight's gone in as well. Might just check on War Boys. He's up 26 spots. He's made 2 stops, sitting in 14th. It's a cracking effort coming from the rear of the grid.
Oh, and the real battle of the night, I'm coming out right beside Ash Barella out of these pits, so it is on again.
And we might just jump back to that. Where are we? He's gone. He's long gone. Long gone. Gonna have 2 cars between you.
Oh, wait, no, hold on, that's for position, that one. Oh dear, why am I letting him by?
That's no, you didn't let him by. You got past him again.
There we go. Whew. See if we can catch down Mr. Ash Barella again.
Nah, I doubt it. And we might jump back on with Hobson. Hobson now is still under pressure from Cameron Jones from Century Motorsports as we come down through the corkscrew. You see the car lift on the suspension as it drops off down the hill.
I don't yet. I need some.
And absolute cracking drive from these two. Jones getting the slipstream here, coming down into the Andretti hairpin. Well, Hobbo goes a little bit deep, opens the door up for Jones. Jones has a good look here. No, doesn't get the job done. Go too wide again into the next corner. Hobson a little bit wide on the gravel, giving plenty of room there. Still too wide. Some great racing. Plenty of respect shown by both these guys. As we head up now to the kink to go onto the Ray Hall straight. Jones backs out. Hobson goes a touch wide. Opens the door up again for Jones. As we come up to the top of the Ray Hall straight. And Hobson goes a bit deep into the corkscrew. Did he get control? Yes, he does. Of course, you'll have a slowdown for that, which has allowed Jones to get past.
We're all pissed, mate.
Absolute great driving. And
Been so angry.
these boys, of course, 13 seconds up the road from Adam Briggs. Briggsy, of course, our championship leader at the moment, driving really well. Very conservative race tonight.
Coming in before it.
Staying out of trouble. And trying to contend with a very fast-flying James Scott, who's 9 seconds up the road from him. Of course, recap on lap 48. Scott getting away quite easily at the start, going in for a slightly different strategy for a few of the boys around him. And of course, tonight we've got 3 compulsory pit stops. So most of the drivers, or all the drivers, pretty much made their 2 stops.
I'll just tell you.
So we've got 1 stop still to come.
Queensland.
But Briggsy flying through there. And the boys have all spread out a little bit, but we've still got a couple of battles on track. Ben Morris, of course, chasing down Michael Whiting. Black Wall Boy sitting in behind these guys. 15. And
That's my home track. It's on the
Kenny
line.
Ladder's had another spin. Off in the sand. He's got himself going again. And James Chastaneuf and Paul Young, they're both from the BAR team. In close formation. But the real battle on track at the moment is this Whiting Morris battle. So the 9-5er versus the Fishy driver. So great to see some of the Fishy boys already signed up for season 4 when I had a look this morning.
I think they used to bring the Pro Tour.
So we roll on to lap 49.
In the wet. That's
James Scott's last lap was a 1:22.87. A very cracking, consistent pace we've been seeing from James tonight. Up on the chopper view, we'll have a look from a different angle as the chopper chases him around the circuit. Nicely gets around the final corner.
oh, okay.
He's on down the fast straightaway. Through turn 1, the slight kink. And heavily onto the brakes down into the Andretti hairpin with the double apex corner. A little bit of traffic in front of James here. Nicely hitting the apexes. Rolls it out wide, picks it up into turn 3. Nice little third gear corner. Rolls it through, making it look very easy. As we come through turn 5. Hitting under the mother bridge, as Nathan calls it. And then through turn 6, we head up to the kink to go onto the Rahal Straight. Rahal Straight. Absolutely getting the job done, looking really good. Nice easy run up the hill here. He's got lap traffic in front of him. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Coming into the corkscrew, plenty of dirt being kicked up on the circuit here, so a little bit of greasy through here. Nicely drops down. Matty Scholes gets out of the way of James Scott there nicely. Rolls through the throttle. More dirt on the circuit there. Comes through turn 10. Beautiful camber on that corner to get nice drive out of. And then into our final turn, turn 11, back onto the start-finish straight. It's great when you've got a camera that can keep up. A chopper that can keep up.
Yeah, I want to be in that chopper. I can't keep up.
And Paul Young, he's up, still in our top 10. The cracking drive. Got Harrison Dengate, he's up 6 spots in the 14th. Another cracking drive from Harrison tonight. Being quite consistent. Might just quickly check in with a few of the other faces that we have in the series. So, trying to find some names here. I haven't looked at for a little while. Matty Whitaker, of course. Another one of the Fishy boys. He's up 6 spots in 27th. Andrew Archer. He's up in 26th, up 10 spots, which is a fair drive, doing really well. I'm not going to go to Nathan Brown. It's up 5 spots. Surprising. And of course, Blake Warboy's up 27 spots in 13th. A great little drive from him. And we'll just continue on here. And we might be joined from another driver to come in and have a chat to us, Matty Parker. I believe he's going to come and join us.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Hey. So we'll see what happens. There we go with that one. And of course, we're all sort of spread out a fair bit here at the moment. The race is sort of settling into a rhythm. Jump back on with Blake Delaney. Blake Delaney hunting down Dave Kirby in front. Doing reasonably well. And see what happens with that one. Of course, if you're following along at home, let us know you're supporting. we'll try and give you a recap of how their race is going. And we're sort of getting to the end here of most of these boys. Lap 52, we'll be starting to look at the... We'll be looking at the end of the next stop, their final stops. So it'll be quite interesting to see where we roll out with this. As we can see, we'll go have a quick look at the pit strategies again. And you'll see that James Scott has made his 2 stops. He looks to be basically breaking the race up into 19 lap stints. And then we've got Briggs, who's gone a bit shorter. And Jones is around been copying Scott. Hobson's gone with the earlier stop early and a longer stop in the middle. And he's about 19 laps now into his third stint. So he'll be just about looking to stop very shortly, I think. Then we've got a few other guys in that pack, like Schultz, have gone 2 long stops, so he'll be looking for a very short stop at the end. And then we sort of come all the way back down through Dengate and Warboys. They're only 9 laps into this stint. Morris is only 8 laps into this stint. So it's going to be quite interesting how some of these guys will roll out into the end of this race here.
Yeah, it'll be, considering it's been green the whole way, like some of the boys were really good at their undercut earlier and it gave them good track position. But I have a feeling those that are able to go that little bit longer and get the final stint on greener tyres towards the end of the race, I think they might be the ones to watch out for.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is going to be very interesting how this all plays out over the remaining 30 laps. Yeah, I think some of these boys are going to be making some long stints to get home still too, which will be quite interesting to see how they go, because tyre wear is still very important around this place, particularly with a lot of the fast flowing corners. Getting tongue-tied again.
Look at the upside, we're past halfway.
Look at the upside, you're still going round.
Yeah, not bad for a night of no practice and coming into it with a lot of winging it.
And we'll just quickly jump back on with Paul Young, have a bit look how he's rolling along. So he's being hunted down here by that Michael Whiting, Ben Morris battle that we've been following most of the night. And we'll welcome into the commentary box Mr. Matty Parker.
How are you, champion?
Good, mate. Of course,
Hey, mate.
Matty from Nova Motorsport, teammates with Mark Duggan, who is still off on his sabbatical. I've been told that he's finding it very hard to turn the nose south and head home.
He is, mate. He is. He's enjoying the nice warmth up north, and he's in Darwin at the moment. And yeah, good on him. I say he's had a really good travel, and hopefully he'll come back fresh as ever for next season in Vets.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him fresh and going again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mate. Looking forward to having the man back. He's been a big rock in our team, and yeah, we miss him dearly.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool.
Yeah, mate, this is actually an interesting race. I haven't long turned it on and looking at it and didn't realise how long a bloody race it is. Geez, these guys are actually smashing it. I'd be dead by now.
I can give you a hint for free, it is very tiring.
Yeah. Well, you young fellas can all have it. There's a couple of vet guys in there. You got PC going pretty good by the looks of it. And
Yeah, he's not doing too bad.
Smarty's up there too.
Yeah, Smarty doing reasonably well. Poor old Smarty though had a went left instead of right in the corkscrew.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he's-
don't worry about that. I've done that a few times.
So he's fought back really well to get back from that.
Yep.
As
A
you can
couple
see.
other WPC guys, your guys, Blake and Harrison, after the wet weekend they've had up at Pucker, they seem to be back doing all right.
Yeah, they've poor old Blake started rear of grid, so he's up 27 spots in the 13th.
No, it's not unusual.
And Harrison up 6 in 14, so a good drive from H.
Yeah. No, doing well, mate. Doing well.
And nice little pass here from Kenny Ladder, getting past Dave Kirby, working his way back through the pack here.
Kenny's always consistent, mate. Doesn't matter what he races, he's always there. These guys are just unbelievable in the way they do it.
Okay, Will, let's just ask about where I can watch the vets if it's not streamed on Race Stars TV. Generally it is. We've just round 4, last round, Luke hasn't been well, so unfortunately we didn't get split 1 and split 2 broadcasted, but we're hopefully we'll be back to normal this week. And
Yeah. No, it's sort of a good thing actually. Really, I had a dismal best one last one. Even though I enjoyed this track, yeah, it was pretty dismal. But yeah, I'm glad the world didn't see it.
That's funny.
Yeah, look, health is more than anything. I've been crook myself actually, so
Yeah,
yeah,
you definitely need to make sure you look after yourselves.
100%, and especially when you're driving all this sort of stuff, you need to have your head in the right sort of area.
Absolutely.
You've been doing all right in split 3.
This last 2 weeks I've just made silly mistakes and I'm just really annoyed with myself. Like, I was probably on for a good finish here on Thursday night, but for some reason I didn't set my fuel early enough before I went into the pits and I only put less than 4 litres in, so I had to go back in for an extra stop, which sort of put me down the back a bit, so I was a little bit annoyed with that.
These things sort of happen on these sort of events anyway, really, at the end of the day.
That's exactly right. Not much you can do about it.
No, get your pit crew sorted, mate. So thought Nathan would be in there being your pit crew and getting all that sorted for you.
Yeah. But I could show him a little bit of the. We got a very similar Larko board that we reference, so occasionally there could be technical glitches on the Larko board, though. Only human.
With James back in this series, he's really put a cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's come across to the Synergy boys, and I think mixing it with the lads they've got in that team and under the guidance of JR, I think he's found his feet quite quickly and found the passion again for sim racing, and I think we're definitely seeing that, where he's already 12 seconds up the road here from Adam Briggs, so...
He just took off like
anything.
It was like, right back riding a bike again, really, for him, you know. Doesn't change much.
When you're at that age and you've been doing it for as long as they have, you pick that stuff up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
And just to answer Will Wilson's question that he put in the chat, that's the YouTube channel where you should find the Vets races that I've just put in there. So it's usually at Taipan events. Poor old Luke had had someone take his YouTube page by hostage, saying that they'd breached copyright and yada yada yada, and wanted him to pay to get out of it. And
oh dear.
Ben nicely allowed him to move over to the Taipan events YouTube page.
That's great of Ben. Yeah, Benny's always been a great admirer of Luke's, and pushing everything forward to make shit happen and everything else like that, mate. He's a number one for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We might just have a quick look as Brenton Hobson's the first to blink into the pits. He's coming out now.
Ooh, interesting.
I expected Hobbo to go the undercut. He's been the man who's been going the earlier stop all night. Some other battles starting to close up again. Kenny Ladder and Nicholas Loveridge. That was a bit of a tap there, but play on.
You're generally fine with this one. You're pretty consistent laps and don't make mistakes. You'll end up bouncing up the field pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't take much to lose 3 or 4 tenths a lap just by making a stupid mistake.
Well, as I go off the track, oh dear. That's definition of commentator's curse right there. That is.
Maybe you should just be. Maybe you should be driving and turn off the half commentary.
Good for yeah. Hi Blake. Bye Blake. Oh dear. Who else is there?
Tell you what, Kenny Ladder and
Under it.
Nicholas Loveridge here having a great little ding-dong battle. Dave Kirby licking his lips behind, waiting for an opportunity.
Yep. Dave looks like he's just waiting for something to happen here, and he'll pinch a couple of spots.
Of course, Dave settled in the vets quite well.
Oh, and he won.
Okay, we're back on the track after all that. We're finally back on the track.
And Holloway's come out in 7th. So he's come out right in front of Jamie Dyke and behind Christian Smart. So it's interesting to see how long it takes for him to settle in. Well, still got a long way to go. He's got 23 laps to get out of this stint.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's put enough fuel in, and he'll make it to the end, and yeah, hopefully the tyres last that long.
Interesting to see what some of these quicker boys coming in behind.
Where's PC at?
PC's in 15th, up 2 spots. He's 5 seconds behind Dengate and 10 seconds ahead of Kenny Ladder. Of course, is in that cracking battle with Kirby Delaney and Matt Stewart slashed onto the back of it. So he might drop back to that and have a bit of a look.
Yep.
And I'll do you a favour, Matty. I'll just share my obs screen in Discord so you can see what we're looking at live.
That might help me a bit, actually.
Yeah. So Nathan Brown in the background there, all over the dirt again.
Yeah, I thought I'd given my current position, I'd let them all through.
As we have a look at Matt Stewart, one of the 1-9 drivers. And McKnight now letting James Scott get past him. Just sort of driving a bit in no man's land here is old Jamie. Dengate 3 seconds up the road.
PC's probably just driving to a number to make sure he gets through, and you know he doesn't make many mistakes, that lad.
No, he's always on it. That's the thing with Jamie. I don't think he never really takes a backward step with his approach to how he drives.
Doesn't really matter what he does. He's just pretty consistent, and you know, regardless if there's guys quicker than him in there, he always pushes them in the race.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got probably one of the smartest race smart brains going around as well, like you just said. Even though he mightn't be the quickest on the track at the night, to still be able to put himself in the position to mix it up with him when he needs to. Very good it is.
Exactly.
So quick look at the pit strategy here with Jamie, of course, stopping on 21 and doing 24 laps. And then he's gone 16 on this stint. So I'd imagine Jamie will probably go a little bit deeper, probably about lap 65, 66, 67, I reckon, before he pits. Bring it home.
Yeah,
And
good tyres and everything, and he'll start pushing it then and
yeah,
make some good yards.
it's one of the things, of course, with us, the older boys in this field here, they're more used to doing these longer races, with the 250 to 300k races. And got a better idea how to play that game of be there at the end.
Yep. Oh, definitely. And
As,
he likes the endurance stuff himself. You know,
Yeah.
all the GT stuff and the 24 hours and the 6 hour and the 12-hour stuff he does is just phenomenal.
he does it quite well. Briggsy and Schultz are in the pits as well, so championship leader just rolled out now. He's done reasonably well, still sitting in third. Damien Johnson in fourth.
We got any tight battles around the place somewhere that's looking a bit exciting?
There's not many. We're just jumping back with Paul Young. Paul Young in a little bit of a battle with Ben Morris. These guys are pretty well much been within a second of each other for most of the night.
Yeah, Paul's another vets guy that's pretty consistent, and no, he's been up and down in vets this season. Might be because his work commitments, I don't know, but.
Look, I think vets this season in the higher splits, there's a very high level of driving, very large amount of work required. A lot of guys putting in a lot of hours.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's split one. It's just gone that extra dimension, really.
Oh, when you got 120 drivers, it was always going to go that way.
But I think we got to get some of those quicker guys in vets into here as well. Like we got to get Tixie in here and try and get Greg in here as well.
Of course, Greg's got the Pro Series tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, good luck to him with that, mate. That should be good. Unfortunately, I won't be watching that. State of Origin takes preference. New South Wales NRL boy myself, so it's number one on my list, and then I'll probably go back and watch a replay.
Blake Delaney's had an incident. We might go to the Supercheap Auto replay, have a quick look what happened to Blake. Coming down into the last corner, he's hit the sausage curb and it has spun him around, and he's managed to keep it off the wall, unlike you, Nath.
Jeez, that was so lucky, wasn't it?
It was, because that's the wall that hurts.
Yeah, that one bites the most, that one does.
And just for you, Nath, you would have seen how you do the flick spin and keep the smoke in the tyres as you went past.
Not gonna lie, it was quite stylish on the way through. I did notice that. I was admiring it.
Yeah, I saw you smiling as you went through.
Cameron Jones has just pitted now. So the Century Motorsport driver coming out in third spot by the looks.
I wouldn't be surprised if Delaney comes in next lap if he hasn't already. Just pretty much doing that to your tyres really stuffs it for, half a dozen laps on this track.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think people don't appreciate the fact that when you do start getting sand on this track as well, that it loses a fair bit of grip. As Chastanoof, Dengate and Wallboys now come in. Allows McKnight now to move up into 8th, up 9 spots.
Mr. Consistent, all right.
To answer your question, Blake Delaney has come into the pits.
Yeah, pretty much figured that was. It's in races like these and such a high caliber, you really need the grip in the tyres, otherwise you might as well just give up in a way.
Answer your question, Will. Yeah, Discord's mainly where, like, I've got my broadcast chat channel where we're all sitting in our broadcast channel talking, and then there's race control and drivers have their channels in there as well. And then the screen I just shared was basically just in Discord, where you don't get the higher quality what you get in YouTube as well. So that's probably the explanation for that. It's just a good bit of software that we all use for communication, basically.
Good. When is Mr. Will coming to join in any of the series and have a drive himself?
That's a good question for the evening.
I think he's waiting on Bulldog to get him some gear, I think.
Oh, God. Jeez, you might have to extend it. The
As-
gnome rig.
the gnome rig. As we jump on with Michael Whiting, who having a great battle still with Paul Young in front of him.
You know, Paul just pitted not long ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he just pitted a lap ago, so
Yeah, but the only one's McKnight still to make his final stop, running in P6. But everyone else in the top 15 have all stopped now. In fact, I think everyone has done their second stop except for Alan Dawson, McKnight, and Simon Chadwick, who has stopped. So that's pretty much the story there.
Ben Morris, he's just gone in. Oh, he's just coming out now.
So we're starting to settle down now into what's going to be the battle to the end. So we jump on with Craig Schultz, who's being hunted down here by James Chastaneuf.
Chasty's been he's been consistent tonight. Been pretty quiet and just plodding along.
We're going to bring in our other special comments man, who's off the track again. Mr. Varga, welcome to the Combox.
How we doing?
Good, mate.
Bugs.
How are you, RC?
Oh God, what a good race tonight, eh?
And why aren't you? Did you start this race or?
Just fed in pits on the last stop.
Stayed in pits.
Fed in pits, so
Oh,
I
no.
put it in. Enough's enough.
Nice enough.
So
Enough speeding.
You gave up.
I gave up. It was a shit race for me anyway.
Oh, you get that. And of course, James Scott, last lap, just set a purple lap with a 122.05. So the boy is absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to
That
take a
is
miracle
quick.
for you know, Adam and Cameron to come back and really, unless they work together and really just push it along, they're going to find it hard to catch him.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's long gone, to be honest.
Well, Hobbo's coming to the back of them too as well, so the battle for second's still pretty much on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hobbo, of course, can see Cameron Jones, the Century Motorsports KFC car in front of him now.
Yeah, he's getting hungry.
Midnight snack.
Mm.
And a pretty clean race though.
They've definitely had a very clean race. Hobbo and Cameron drove very well. Of course,
We
if you-
said, man, this caliber, you got to be clean and consistent to be at the front and
Oh, absolutely.
everything else.
Of course, bit of lap traffic as well, make life a little bit more difficult for Cameron in front here. Come up behind one of the Bogan racing boys.
Amy Johnson's still putting in some pretty quick laps himself on the new tyres.
Yeah,
They're
with
starting to come into form for him. So, even though he's so far behind, he's a fair bit behind, but he's still doing some quick times.
there's still a few good battles going on, like Chassis, Schultz, Paul Young and Michael Whiting. Night on the blower.
There's much out of that. Getting around David there.
And then McKnight goes in for his final stop.
We just see Jamie, see how quick his pit stop is and
Oop.
how much fuel he's put in compared to everyone else. I think that'll be a big judgment call.
And we welcome into the Combox another person, Mr. Roy Clark. How are we, Roy?
Not too
G'day.
bad. John. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Rough night in the office.
Yeah, a bit like Vargs and Lewis Hamilton. Hashtag never give up, except when the internet did.
Oh no.
I actually thought it might have been. I was a little scared. I saw Nathan in the back behind me at one stage, and he seems to have a target for the back of my car lately. But then he disappeared from behind me, so I was feeling quite safe. And then the Telstra came to the party, and they took me out instead.
Oh, that might have been the commentator's curse when he ran off.
Could have been. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why he disappeared. He went and pulled the plug.
See, I knew you were coming. I knew you were coming, so I had to do something.
Got to mix it up.
I've got to look after my vets, boys. You know, like.
So Chassie's having a blinder, Roy. What's the word coming down from the box?
Yeah, I was in between having internet and not having it before. I did see that blinder movie pulled off at the corkscrew there with every wheel locked bar one, I think. So I don't know how he got through there, but yeah, he's on fire at the moment. The guys have been working really hard and pushed me really hard last night to actually put in a time instead of my usual just rock up, run a lap and go, yeah, I'm done. I'm in. I'm either in or I'm not. Who cares? So hence why I qualified a little further up the field than I normally do this one, and I was quite happy with the pace I was running before I dropped out. So yeah, the boys put in a bit of work last night to make sure the set we were running was pretty good. So
we should be seeing you run a bit quicker this on Thursday night then.
Mate, if I've got internet, then maybe, but
And Dengate getting the job done on Michael Whiting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bit of a light flash from behind there.
Yeah, might go with the live version instead of the behind version. Hey, that's the smarter option.
And we've got someone stopped. No, they're going again. A good little battle here. Michael,
Blake's
of course.
done well. Coming
Blake?
from the rear of grid. He passed me at about lap 1, turn 1.5 or something like that before he got me off the start.
He's certainly got a bit of pace about him at the moment, Lester Blake.
Yeah, he's just
Settling into
chasing down
triples.
PC.
Starting to get used to those triples, I reckon.
Yeah, they make a big difference.
Mm.
Well, for other people anyway.
No comment, Roy.
Hey, if it wasn't for Maddie, I wouldn't have triples.
It's Brands Hatch. That was a great race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've got two guys off at the moment. Not sure who that is, but looks like they got going again. 23rd, I think it was Matty Scholes and Matty Whitaker. And Blake's boring by himself. We'll go back to where the action is. James Chastaneuf.
Yeah, it looks like he's got Craig.
Yeah, he's got Craig. 5 seconds up the road, he's got Jamie Dyke now. The other close battle on track we have is Mr. McKnight hunting down Ben Morris. So McKnight, of course, with the fresher tyres. Let's a quick look at the pit strategy. See if he shows up on that list, and he does. So McKnight, the last man to pit. So he should have fresh tyres. Shouldn't be too worried about fuel.
We'll be giving it all to chase him down and hopefully get another spot for himself.
Definitely. As we used to have a look as we go across the line at the time deltas. So he's definitely closing that gap dramatically here.
Times are still pretty even between Ben and Jamie, though.
Yeah, long way to go. Of course, James Scott. Oh, is that? It's not you, is it, Nath?
No, I'm good this time.
We got 9 laps to go.
Yep. 9 laps to go. James having a horrible time through traffic here by the looks.
Ooh.
Jeez, that
Close.
was close.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
probably
that'd be
going to. I'm sure he's going to be a little disappointed because he was probably hoping to win this by maybe a minute, maybe lap the field twice because the pace is just unbelievable from him. But
Well, it's still consistently lapping in the mid 122s, which is bloody impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy fast around here. That's certainly hats off to anyone having that sort of pace.
Says the man whose last lap was a 125 too.
It was a 191. I'll claim the one there.
Just another planet.
Yeah. Oh, you got to admire their skill and ability, and like we're talking about the Pro Series before. You know, you watch when you get a whole flock of guys racing at that level. It's pretty bloody impressive.
Especially when they're nose to tail and that close. And
Yeah.
bad enough in the real world, let alone on here.
Hmm.
I mean, look at this. He's up to 10th spot. That's Paul Young in front of him, isn't it? So.
I think so. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Or is that Chasty?
No, just his little further
it's
up
definitely
road. And it's, yeah, Paul wouldn't be seen dead in a Falcon. A Mustang, sorry.
There you go. It's definitely Young. Love how the VAR boys put names on the back, except not racing in Split 2. I'm intrigued to see what you've actually put on the back of Bulldogs.
I'd be having a look at the back of Andrew Ritchie's personally, but that does not have his name on it.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
It's got like a little saying or something, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And if you look really closely in his paintwork, it then matches the saying that's on the car.
Success.
No. Once it's a little clearer, you'll be right.
Succulent.
I need my glasses to read that.
You need to go down a little bit more on the camera angle there, John.
I'm not set up for it, but anyway. Succulent cheese meal, hey?
Chinese meal, mate. Chinese meal.
I don't want to know.
If you search YouTube, you may find the connection to that. There is also mentions of that on the back of the car as well, on the back guard.
We might jump on with Harrison Dengate. He's under a bit of pressure now for Michael Whiting. We have another car off track.
Succulent Chinese meal.
Mm.
Wow. Peking duck.
So Dengate's moved up into 11th. Let's have a look where Warboys is. We've lost Warboys. I think Warboys is heading off. We can't find him.
15th.
Back in 15th, yep. Hunting down McKnight.
Hobbo's closed in on Briggs for third. It might be on.
Might be on, yep.
Looking at that one.
Yeah, just a bit of lap traffic at the moment.
Always helps Hobbo. Hobbo's always up for a lap traffic.
Of course, don't underestimate Hobbo. Very, very crafty driver. There we go. Now he's got his main man in front of him. Let's see how quickly he can close in here.
Up half a second on him through that lap traffic, so starting to move along there. He wants a podium for sure.
Oh, he's closed in a little bit.
If I remember Hobbo rightly, he's pretty good steer in the go-karts as well.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
He's still in the go-kart scene.
We're missing Nathan's tank slapper.
No, I got to see Nathan in the flesh on Saturday. Just put it through a tyre wall, so...
I miss
Yeah, look, it tickled was one thing to say.
you in that tag light mess up, were you?
Nah, I did it all on my own. I was going along, was doing all right, believe it or not, and then yeah, unfortunately had a little bit of a minor brake failure where all the all the little pins decided to evacuate the caliper housing to the rotor, and I was going down the straight and I heard this little metallic ting. I was like, oh, it's a strange sort of noise. Oh well, she'll be right. Here's turn one. Went to put my foot on the brake and had nothing. So I went dead straight at 110k an hour, and yeah, Sand Trap certainly got a good workout that race.
I think it did all meeting. The sounds of it. I'm glad I wasn't there.
There was one race in our final race on Sunday. 2 carts spun on the start-finish straight before they even got to turn one. So fighting over a piece of real estate didn't go too well for them.
No, they always do. Pucker's one of those ones where you need to get up the front, otherwise you're always going to be chasing your tail.
Let's have a look for some more battles. Check in again on Paul Young. Battling away still here with Schultz in front. Then closing up the gap behind.
I was going to say, I'm sure if you watch Paul, he'll give us a masterclass on passing, because generally after every race, he's showing us every pass he's made in a race and explaining how he set everybody up. So if we stay here long enough, we might see a masterclass in action.
Won't be long and he'll be there.
Yeah, old Dengate will be with him. And Varg's got the masterclass on Dengate's passing.
Now Vargs is jumping in the go-karts after the weekend.
He's
Quite fun. That's quite fun.
It's good fun. Highly recommended. And yeah, Will, WK&P stands for Wodonga Carts and Parts, which is a business that's owned by my nephews and brother, and they race LGK carts around New South Wales and Victoria.
Not LGK anymore. Not LGK.
Yeah, I can say that.
Wow.
Ryan was still in one, so.
Oh Jesus, was he?
Yeah. So it's our EKS. If I get that right.
Yes, EKS now.
Yeah, now EKS.
I was trying to get him in my one, but they decided to go the other way, which, fair enough, up to them.
And then, of course, that now is going to result in a whole new car livery for next season.
Oh, so the green's going to be gone?
Green might be going, yes. Might be a bit of half and half. Still, I think, a bit of a phase out. Might be going back to my Dutch roots and going orange.
Seems to be a very common thing online is orange at the moment. They seem to... Orange seems to be the most seen besides the yellow. Like the BAR boys look good with all their liveries, and like Paul stands out really well with the yellow.
Yeah. James Scott now on lap 80 of 84. We're getting towards the end of this one.
He's pulled out a good margin too. He's decided to keep going.
Warboys is now latched onto the back of the People's Champion.
Yeah, this will be a good one. Jamie won't want to give up his position here. He'll want to keep as many points as he can.
A little bit reminiscent of season 1, watching those two with each other.
Yes, Jamie gave him a masterclass that season.
Blake struggled on the weekend too, didn't he? Or did he have a failure, or what happened with him?
Yeah, I think he had the same issue you had, didn't he, Nath?
Yeah, it was. He had a very similar thing going on. For him, it was he still had just enough in it to be able to bring it home. Where yeah, mine was the unlucky one that let go during the race. But if there was any more laps in it, I think Blake's would have been a very similar boat. But
so just an important question on that, Nath. Who was doing the work on the brakes for your carts?
it was well, it was there was a few of us that were running this new one.
And it's very unusual for those to do what they do. What you know, very unusual. So
Yeah, it was. We were trying it out. It was going really well, but turns out there was a bag of R clips that was meant to get supplied with them. Or like
three
Jesus clips
wide.
or C
here
clips.
we go. Oh,
You were low on fuel there.
they touch there, did they? Or
No,
Get a neck gate, I reckon.
Right, looks straight.
Yeah. That was a good pass. That was a good bit of driving, considering there was lap traffic in there as well.
Absolutely.
Good awareness from Jamie. Otherwise, that could have ended very badly.
Was it lap traffic or was it Jamie Dyke?
No, it was lap
it's like
traffic.
Jamie Dyke is up in front
was
of
Matt.
Chassis.
It was Matt Whitaker's car.
Yeah, well, here we go. Paul's on it.
I need to change cars. I get confused with those two. One of them needs to change.
You get confused. It's funny. I think we all get confused a bit here. As we can see, Chasty holding off Craig Schultz. Paul Young behind, very close behind Schultz. And Dengate now closing in on this battle. So 3 laps to go for our race leader. Jump on with James. James is still 20 seconds clear. Adam Briggs in second. So at the moment, James Scott's actually a pit stop clear of Briggs. That's how well he's been going.
Wow.
And to be honest, I think he's been taking it easy the last few laps as well.
Yeah. Not getting much airtime, put it that way. And then Briggsy, our championship leader, he's sitting in second spot. He's nicely kept it away, 17 seconds up the road from Cameron Jones. Cameron Jones is still 1 second ahead of Hobbo. Hobbo hasn't been able to make that last little bit of indent to get up onto the back of him, put some pressure on him. Damien Johnston.
Hobbo was one of the first ones to stop, I think, too.
Yeah.
So he's probably on older tyres. Okay.
Yep.
Cam's just going to give him a bit of a sniff there.
Just a little bit of a look.
Yeah.
And we'll go back Johnston, Smart, Dyke, and then we go back to this Chastanuth battle with Craig Schultz behind. And something's happened to Paul Young. Dengate's managed to get himself through. We won't go to the replay on that. But Dengate's now moved up to the top 10.
All the old boys are feeling it, I think. Smarty's the quickest of the old boys. I think he's...
And 007 Davis, Warren Davis, has had a spin, but will stay on his front running pack here.
Young Dengate should have plenty of energy left. He's been through puberty, the young man.
I think he trimmed his first beard hair on the weekend.
I'm surprised how young he was.
I tell you what, he was very worried when I said that you were going to come and you were coming to meet him, Bugs.
Is he 15 yet?
16. Just turned 16.
There you go.
Hasn't long been in seniors in karting.
We kept telling him we had a special visitor coming to see him that wanted to discuss a certain pass at Belle Isle from a couple of weeks ago.
I was quite happy. All right, qualified him here tonight, and then I went to.
And
It
we've
all
had
went
a
sour.
crash.
Let's put it that way.
Peter Pavlich and Alan Davis going to quickly go to Supercheap Auto Replay. Yeah, these two had it coming together going into the corkscrew.
Gonna poke it. Oh, he poked it.
Got my foot on the brakes. No, nicely waited for him anyway. We'll go back to live pictures.
I know the feeling, poor bloke.
It's just, yeah, the way the track moves there.
Yeah.
If you're not already up beside them, there's nothing you can do there. You can't sort of poke it in.
No,
Absolutely.
and you really got to read. You really got to read the guy in front.
Yeah.
A lot, you know, like they could break just that little bit extra, and then you've just tagged them, and that's it. And the way that the road sort of tears away on different spots. Yeah.
Well, in a sense, we've got a thing of not giving driver of the day to rear grid guys. Rules out war boys with being up 26 spots. So I think the guy we'll give it to up in our top half of the field, we might give it to Dengate. That's what I think.
Starting
that's fair
20th,
enough,
I
Paul.
think.
What's that?
Starting 20th.
20th, yep, up into the top 10.
You've got to give it to him for top 10 for sure.
And it's never easy getting up that pointy end of the field with the level of quality drivers we've got in this series. So
So James just won it, eh?
Yeah, I
Yep.
think
So
that.
he's just come through. That was it.
yep.
Yep.
And
Nice
thank you.
clear, and then
So he's done that fairly easy from Briggsy, of course. And Cameron Jones is going to come down. Of course, he's well back.
something happened to Hobbs. He's,
Yeah, he's-
like 9.5
Yeah.
seconds. He went off or something.
Yeah, Hobbsy went off. We'll go back and we'll have a look at that one in a minute.
I
Hobson
think
comes
hats off
through.
to anyone that finished this race. It's a massive lap.
Massive effort. Damien Johnstone.
100%.
Someone's spun coming out of the corner there. Not sure who that was. Someone back in 23rd. That was Matty Scholes. So,
Whoa,
Damien-
whoa,
hang on to it, son.
whoa.
Bit of impressive driving. And
Celebrating finishing the race. Well,
Christian
Yes,
Smart is going to bring it home in 6th, where he qualified. That was a great effort from him to qualify high and then still bring it home in that spot.
I can't believe he brought it home in that spot. Last I saw of him, he was spinning through the corkscrew and still got home that
Absolutely.
high.
Jamie Dyke in 7th. James Chastanove home in 8th, up 2 spots. Greg Schultz managed to hold off Harrison Dengate in 10th. So that was, probably I would say a commanding drive from Scotty again. The guy is in form. And I don't think there's going to be anyone who can stop him if he keeps driving like that.
Nah, I don't think so, mate. There's got to be someone in. We've got to bring Greg in, or some of these other pro drivers from a couple of other series there, and to give him a bit of a touch up, hopefully.
How did you know, Nathan, I was on that camera to spin right in front of it?
It's a very, very talented man. That's all I'm going to go with.
And let's go back. We did say Hobbo had an off. This is Hobbo's off.
Through the kink.
Managed to catch it, keep it off the walls.
James isn't in the Pro series, actually.
No, James was not in the series. I think he was with another team that I believe was asked, and the team said no. I believe that's the story there.
No.
And I think at that stage he was basically falling between two teams. I think he'd kind of left them, the team he was with as well, I think so.
We started not too long ago, and James has been with Synergy for, I'm going to say,
Why's
3
that take
months.
so long? And
You could have put him in as a reserve for Greg for last week. Last one. Would have been good.
anyway, we'll bring in our race winner, James Scott, and have a chat. James, how you going, mate?
Yeah, not bad, boys. How are you?
Yeah, good. Got a few people joining me tonight. Mate, that was a pretty commanding drive, and you managed to stay out of trouble with a lot of lap traffic and worked your way through the field quite well.
Yeah, some of the lap traffic was a bit chaotic. Just, yeah, but luckily to stay out of some chaos with the lap cars, and yeah, just tried to give as much room as possible, and worked out all right.
And a bit worried when Hobbo went in for the early stop.
No, not really. I knew I sort of ran a good probably 10 laps or something more than him, so I worked out that I was probably gonna have 10 laps more fuel as well. So I was expecting it to be close. I was hoping to get out just ahead, but it didn't hurt me too much, and I knew that it'd play into my hands in the either in the second or the third stop.
Yeah, well, your tight life was massive. Would have been a massive input for the last 10 laps anyway. Really.
Yeah, exactly right. The car was really good tonight. Pretty much whenever I didn't have traffic, keep it in the 122s, which was good. So yeah, I did think that those 10 laps would really help with the tyres as well at the end, though.
And surprised we didn't have a safety car.
Yeah, I am actually. I thought, I don't know, the corkscrew or something. It's pretty tight. It's a little bit of a passing spot as well. So I thought maybe someone might get it a bit wrong, or some. I thought in sort of 84 laps there'd be one, but it's good to see that there was some. Well, looks like there was some pretty clean driving, really.
Definitely. And anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, obviously all the guys at SSR. The car's been really good lately. So we're definitely moving forward in the right direction. I just need to keep improving. And obviously we couldn't do it without all our great sponsors as well. Wave Runner Performance, Smith and Sons, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Positives Mechanical. I'm probably going to forget a few, but and obviously congrats to Briggsy and Cameron on the podium as well. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast and the Ash and all the other guys that run the series.
That's good, mate. That's great. Hang in, we'll bring in Adam, our second place getter. Riggsy, well done, mate, on a P2. That was a pretty championship critical drive, really, to hold that position.
Yeah, well, James was just too good tonight. But yeah, it was just collect some good points and keep a clean nose and that sort of thing. So lot of passing, a lot of traffic. So there was plenty of opportunity to come unstuck, but you just sort of had to have a cool head about it. And obviously James had a lot of pace tonight, and he put that on display big time. So well done to him. And yeah, thank you for his hard work during the week as well. But yeah, it's yeah, it was an eventful race, mate. I tell you, I was traffic management was massive. So
Yeah, we had a feeling that was going to be the case if we didn't get any safety cars. So, and we're pretty surprised sitting here that there wasn't any. What about yourself?
yeah, I was surprised. There's plenty of opportunity. Like even the pit lane, like when you think about it, the pit lane is narrow and it comes out into like a hairpin bend. You normally see at least some people sort of slip off the pit lane and collect somebody, and then that can cause a blown engine or whatever. But we didn't even have that, and that's probably a credit to absolutely everyone on the grid. So it's 300 k's on a Tuesday night. It's a long race, and to have it go without safety car means that we can all get to bed quicker.
Absolutely. And anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Wave Runner Performance. Smith and Sons, JK Signs, Dave Oliver Photo, Positives Mechanical, Too Easy Finance, and West End Mazda as well. Good old Jamie McKnight, the People's Champion. Yeah, so yeah, Dr. Epoxy as well. So yeah, all the guys at SSR, we get together and have a lot of fun on a Tuesday night. And thank you for the organisers for putting it on.
That's good. We love having these boys come and race. Rather enjoyable. And season 4 entries are open, so make sure you guys get in and get all that squared away pretty early. And
yeah, I'll have to get my entry in soon. I keep forgetting.
and we announced the calendar this week as well, so it should be quite an interesting season. The season 4.
Cool.
You got to bring some of your other good fast drivers in as well, mate, to beg James back a bit.
Yeah, look, I hope I peg James back a little bit. We all wish and dream, don't we? So,
Well, it's Tom Frere's calling
you're
you
always
the 4
doing
man.
well.
Tom Frere's calling you the 4 man at the moment.
Yeah, Tom's quick. We've got a lot of quick guys, man. It's the depth in SSR is absolutely ridiculous. So, small fish, big pond.
Definitely.
Okay, Matty.
Oh no, I was just saying, no, mate. You've You're always at the front, mate, and it's good to watch. You guys always put on a good show for us all, and yeah, it actually makes Tuesdays an enjoyable night.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great series, and Race Control do a fantastic job, and the series organisers are always improving and always putting initiatives forward. So yeah, it's a great thing.
And we haven't got Cameron Jones down in the com box in the green room to bring up. So I was free to quote from Damien Johnstone, who reckons he did a mega job. Must have had some special zinger sauce tonight. Reference to the KFC livery again. And anyway, we'll bring in the driver of the day. So our driver of the day today goes to a bloke who started in 20th and finished in 10th. So up 10 spots in a cracking field, which is never easy to do. So congratulations, Mr. Harrison Dengate.
Thank you very much, John.
Mate, how did you
Is that
find
voice getting deeper?
Getting there.
Yeah. So how did you find that one, H?
Pretty interesting, I'd say. It was very, very. There's a large variety in pit stop strategy, but honestly, me and Blake just decided to go for the same strategy, just even out splits. So it looked like it paid off.
Yep. It sounds good. Yeah, congratulations, mate. So you'll get the Supercheap Auto Pit Pass for Bathurst, which I'm sure Josh Strage will sort out for you. And yeah, well done, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Is there a
much.
plus one with that?
Anyway, that's it for tonight. So next week we are back again for a 250k race, this time up at Sonoma Raceway. So we're going to move 300k's to the north and pop to the other side of San Francisco on our Californian tour up into the Napa Wine District to race at Sonoma. So looking forward to that one next week, and a big thank you to Matty Parker and Steve Varga and Roy Clark for dropping in, and of course to Nathan Brown for doing the driving commentary duties again. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, good. That's a good bit of fun it is, and yeah, it's a great series. This one's great to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. So it's always an enjoyable night on a Tuesday night.
You
It makes the night go better. And sorry for the commentary curse there, mate.
That's okay. That's half the fun of it.
Oh, you keep trying to give it to him. So on that note, we'll say good night, and hopefully we'll see everybody again next week. Thanks very much.